Welcome back. Now, the ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives hopes to complete its work on the amendment as soon as possible. According to the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, who is also the chairman of the Special House Committee on the Review of the Constitution, the committee has come up with an innovation to ensure that most of the proposed amendments are signed into law by the President. He said the amendments will be presented to the President as separate bills. This will prevent the scenario where a problem with one amendment will affect the other proposed amendments. We will see how that will work out. Up next is a chat I had with the chairman of the House Committee on Public Accounts, Representatives Kingsley Chinda. He told me a little about his committee and the work they are doing.
Well, firstly, the Public Accounts Committee strives to achieve transparency and accountability in the use and management of public funds. The committee is made up of one member from each state. And as far as I'm concerned, in every parliament, the Public Accounts Committee stands out as the watchdog of the society. And therefore, it is a very important and powerful committee in the legislature. And what we have been doing, it's more of a post-mortem examination of public accounts. The Auditor General has a task of auditing accounts of all MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies of government. And once that is done, constitutionally, they are to lay their report before the National Assembly. That report will be referred to the Public Accounts Committee, which will now look into the reports, the queries raised by the Office of the Auditor General against all MDAs, and then thereafter make a report to the House concerning the queries or the reports of the Auditor General.
So what happens when you then make your report to them?
When the report is made, the House considers the report of the committee like any other committee report and arrives at a resolution, and that is passed on to the executive arm for implementation. Of course, quickly you might ask what happens thereafter if they fail to implement. But I think that this is a very sensitive aspect of our national life. And so if there are issues of corruption or mismanagement of public fund, I don't think that the executive arm would sleep over that. The unfortunate thing is that in the House, perhaps for a very long time, if we have at all, we've not gotten to that stage where a resolution of the Public Accounts Committee is tabled before the House, it's considered and passed on to the executive arm. And that is the vision of the 8th Assembly, that the Public Accounts Committee will present her report before the House, it will be considered, and then a resolution arrived at, and it will be passed on to the executive arm.
It seems you have your work cut out for you, or should I say the committee has its work cut out, because if I understand you correctly, it appears your committee will be doing the work almost every committee should be doing, because every committee has a sector they oversight to check corruption and all, but yours will be following the auditor's report only.
Strictly, we will follow the auditor's report, but even outside the auditor's report, in course of our investigation, sometimes you could stumble over very curious issues, which could make you put such MDA on what we call status inquiry. That is to find out a little bit more details concerning the affairs of that MDA. But yes, whilst we have standing committee overseeing the MDAs, the Public Accounts Committee, it's like the committee overseeing the Office of the Auditor General, and therefore we also investigate the queries issued by that office to confirm the veracity of such queries and advise the House.
Now you've been chair of the committee now in the 8th Assembly thus far. Can you give an idea how it's been thus far, looking into the queries and how you are progressing?
Well, firstly, we met backlog of queries from 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, and 15 is yet to come. And what we have done so far is to start from 2010, and we hope that by first quarter of next year, we would have laid our first report before the House. We're working on that, and we want to break that jinx of the Public Accounts Committee not laying a report before the House. And aside that, we also felt that if we're talking about accountability and transparency, the committee itself must be seen to be transparent in her dealings. And so we are working on the committee's website to enable us upload all the queries coming from the Office of the Auditor General. So it will no longer be a secret. The issues concerning or surrounding the queries of MDA from the Auditor General's office will no longer be a secret in this country. We'll make it public. And the response or responses that we receive from the MDA, we'll also upload that. That will make our work lighter. And aside that, we receive complaints too from the public. Perhaps some of them will want to be part of our hearing. We have public hearings almost every day, except Thursdays. We have public hearings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. And in fact, we have agreed in the committee that we might be compelled to hold public hearings on Saturday to enable us meet up with the workload.
Okay, but I would want to understand, when you mentioned the issue of the backlog, doesn't it become worrisome that from 2000, the auditor's report of 2010 hasn't been worked on? Are those issues not passed now? Public servants may have left, issues may have passed, agencies might have even folded up.
Yeah, we agree. We encounter such problems. You find out that you're considering a query and the actors are all out of the system. Some are retired, some are dead, but you will agree with me that there is no time frame as far as crime is concerned. Even if it takes 20, 30 years to unravel a crime, even where the culprit is dead, it will still leave a positive mark on society. So I don't think it is late for us to consider them. The only problem we have is to ask why were these queries left unattended to. However, I think it's a lapses in the system which we are here to correct, and we'll put in our best to ensure that by the time we leave the 8th Assembly Public Accounts Committee, we would have taken care of, if not all, reasonable number of years where we have these queries that are still lying down. And as I speak to you, we've made remarkable progress on 2010 queries. Again, I say that within the first quarter of next year, by the special grace of God, we will lay our first report, and then we can move forward from there.
Okay, but if you're just laying the 2010 by the first quarter of next year, it's almost into your second or third year, how much hope do you have you'll be able to complete to 2014 or even the 15, which may be brought in by next year?
Well, as we are considering 2010, we are also side by side considering other years, but we're preparing the reports for 2010. So it's not just that we are considering 2010. Some of the MDAs we have concluded with 2010 to 2013 queries. Okay. And then, but we are preparing the reports for 2010.
So you are taking them agency?
We are taking them agency by agency, not year by year.
Okay then. So we should look forward to hearing something from you.
Something very positive.
Now, we will be monitoring the activities of this committee in the coming days, or should I say next year. Well, this will be our last episode for this year, and I want to thank you for being part of this program through 2016. It was a very interesting year, and we would like to know what was your most memorable moment of that year. 2016, what stands out for you? And what would you like the National Assembly to focus on in the coming year, in 2017? Let's hear from you. Send in your thoughts and views to us through any of our addresses on your screen. It's on this note that I want to wish you a fruitful and engaging 2017. I'm Lanre Lasese. Bye.